I'm an English teacher. I'm currently teaching English in a secondary public school located in Barcelona, Spain. And I want to talk a little bit about my experience on working throughout transversal competent projects and why I decided to work using projects in my classroom. I want to talk about my own experience and why I joined with my team. We decided to change the use of books throughout projects. The first is working throughout multi-level classroom. In our center, we've got a lot of students in our classroom. I'm teaching with the students who are 15, 16, and I've got 28, 29 students in a classroom, and with different levels, working with multi-levels. It's a bit tricky as a teacher to plan and to adapt the material for all the students. Another obstacle that I found as a teacher was how the tables and chairs were distributed in a classroom. We found that most of the students at the end of our lessons, they were not motivated. Another thing that I faced, and I want to mention again, it was the difficulties to adapt all the course content material, the material adapted in the real level of our students. And another point is that in Spain, Catalan teachers, Spanish teachers, and English teachers, we are doing the same in 3 different languages. We realized that we wanted to introduce conditionals in 3 different languages. And for our students, they really knew when after 5, 6 sessions what conditional was. So we decided to sit together, okay, with all the teachers of the center, and to try to find a way in order to work throughout transversal skills. We decided to put all the contents together per course in order to promote all these skills that you can see on screen. Project planning was essential. We realized that we spent a lot of time with our project planning. We spent around 2 months in order to organize all our projects and the content that we want to cover depending on each year. So how we decided to promote PBL in the classroom, and that's what I wanted to talk about, transversal skills and how project planning was difficult. We spent months in order to plan what we wanted to cover in each year. And we started using PBL throughout K1. So we carry out different teachers training, not only for language teachers. We decided that all the teachers who are in my center needed to improve their skills on PBL. Nobody knew about it. It was our first time. So that's the reason, because K1 was very useful for that. And throughout teacher training, we started using EU Partner Search and e-training. And it was very, very useful because it allowed all the teachers to filter the content that we want to cover in each project. Our Erasmus K2, I want to talk about the duration. We're talking about 2-3 years. And during the first year, our K2 is about planning. It's very important that planning, that all the teachers, they really know what to cover, how to assess. It's very important how to carry out these students' recording. School Education Gateway is very useful for K1 teachers training. I really recommend it. And finally, with the co-funded Erasmus programs, it was very useful for us because it allowed all the teachers to observe our real projects that were in different centers of Europe, and it was very useful. Another way to implement PBL in our center was throughout school exchanges and to negotiate with other schools. For example, as you can see with PBL Works, we decided to carry out a project with an American center, and it was very, very special, this project, because it was our first experience with an American school. And PBL Works allowed all the teachers to use real models and to use a real material, for example, rubrics, etc., from other projects, and very easy to adapt to our center. In my center, we've got German and French as as another language. And you can see Schulenpartner der Zukunft was very useful, this website, in order to get in touch with German centers in order to carry out these exchanges. And another one-to-one PBL projects throughout internet remotely was this two websites, Penpal Schools and Cambridge. Both links you will find very useful material. You will find centers interested in taking part of your projects and be partners. Finally, what I want to talk about is about the components that we decided to cover in all our, our projects. First of all, the curriculum design, as I said before, is very important to know what to cover, what is the content, what do you really want, what is going to be the final project of our students. And for this, our teachers are familiar using Evernote. And as you can see as well, wiki spaces. I think the wiki, everyone is very familiar for wiki. For us, it was very, very, very useful. But from last year, we decided to use Evernote, and very useful website. For instructional delivery, we've used Google Classroom in order to get in touch with our students. VoiceThread, Teams, handouts, and because of this pandemic, we've already continued doing it in the same way. This is very useful for us because it's a way that we are able to get in touch with our students and at the same time to follow up the progression. And finally, assessment and evaluations. What we decided to do, and we copied a little bit this from another center, was a German center, is the use of sites in order to create a digital portfolio. For us, it was very useful because immediately, as a teacher, you can check the student report in order to carry out this core and auto evaluation, and using core rubrics as well. And it allowed teachers to observe and to carry out this progression. At the same time, some of the students, some of them they were lost or demotivated. It allows teachers to act immediately. And this is the center that I'm currently working in Valles, and this is my email address if you want to get in touch with me. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Laia.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for the technical problems, Gabri.
Oh no, it's fine. It happens. As far as we can still prepare everything, but something always happens.
Yeah, thank you.
You did well. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. And we've got some questions here, very interesting ones. I saw that you work with the learner's portfolio, right? And then you mentioned the benefits that teachers would have with the learner portfolio. Now, my question for you is, what about students? What kind of benefits do students have with the portfolio?
With the portfolio, it's very useful because what we're doing is for co-evaluations and for teachers' evaluation as well. Not only this, they evaluate their own learning, but at the same time, it allows because you have to think that in a project, maybe there are more than 10 teachers working the same project. For teachers as well, to get in touch all together and working remotely, it's very useful to have the portfolio and to have this access to check the students' recording. This is very important. My students, they complete their portfolio every week. This is important, calendar, to establish this calendar in their routines. And now working remotely, sometimes very important to remind them this writing on the portfolio.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, would you mind repeating which tools you use for the digital portfolios?
Yes, I use digital Google Sites. So my students, yes, what we use is Google Sites and core rubrics. For Google side, why? Because my students, they knew about it. Before I start talking, they're very technological and they knew how to use Portfolio in the classroom. They really knew what was a Google site, and I had to go in a webinar to be trained. So, and suddenly I started my classroom as a very innovative teacher to say, hi guys, so we're going to use Google Sites Portfolio, and everyone knew about it. They knew how to create, even though my students helped me to create it and give me some tips how to do it. And co-rubric is very, very useful. In Spain, the Minister of Education, if you want, I can add this link because everyone can use it, where you can use digital co-rubrics for auto co-evaluation. It's very useful.
Fantastic. And your probably students can teach you how to use these tools. That's really
of course they do it.
They know it better than us.
Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 great questions. So one of them is, was there any resistance to project-based learning from students?
No, our students, they love PBL because they are the protagonists of the project. Basically, working PBL, we decided to change the classroom distribution tables. Everything was new for them and for teachers as well. And for example, 3 teachers in a classroom, it was something that never happened before. This is something new. And working in PBL, through researching and from problem-based learning, this is something was very new, but the students, they really like it because they felt that they are the protagonists of this process. Yeah.
Indeed, they are, yes. How to prove to students that they have learned? This is a really good question that sometimes we have PBL methodology.
This is a good question that most of the teachers, they ask it the same, right? How to prove that they are working and they acquire the knowledge that they wanted. We carry out throughout rubrics, okay, and digital portfolio, we carry out online tests. Nowadays, we're doing online tests as well via Moodle. We use an internal Moodle in my center, and we program this test for them. So, okay, we open and close that session. We've got this face-to-face contact as well via Google Meet. And in the classroom, apart from carrying out their own presentations, we carry out small seminars where 4 teachers wanted to assess the students, right, with different ways. They carry out a presentation or paper-based as well. So some of the teachers wanted to implement paper in the classroom. We are a green school, but anyway, so some of other teachers decided to implement a test paper in order to prove that that our students achieve the content.
Yes, interesting. Yes. Do you keep the same format now that you are in an online context?
More or less, yes. Yes, language teachers, we use the same context. Yes, obviously this virtual, the face-to-face presentations, for example, is a bit different, right? There are a lot of things that are missing, right, during the conversation, the body language, or it's a bit different. But the process of getting in touch with the students is exactly the same. Every Friday, they've got a voice thread from the teachers. They know what is going to start on Monday. They know everything. And when we start a project, we provide all the instructions, deadlines, instructions, final projects, competencies. They know what we're going to evaluate, and the parents do.